Well, g'day, Dragons fans, and welcome to the Mad Dragons podcast, brought to you by Complete Warehouse Solutions. A family-owned and operated business with more than 100 years of combined experience, Jeff and his team are more than pleased to assist in your Sydney warehouse refurbishment or fit-out project. Based on Commerce Drive in Lake Illawarra, get in touch with the team on 02 4257 1930.
Just sit right back and hear a tale of a podcast crew who gather around the mighty drink to give their point of view. As man is the panel fire, he shows that he has fun, and Donny, our host, will jump along, guiding us through the storm, guiding us through the storm. Big T's our rocky, keeps us true, he often gets his say. And just alive, he knows the girls and everything dragons way. And everything dragons way. The Mad Dragon podcast is a journey unforeseen. With Tasman and Donny too. And there's Big T and Coco. Just the start. Mazza and the other crew. Here on the Mad Dragon podcast.
Well, welcome to Team List Tuesday. I might kick it off with the Tuesday beer of the week, just because I think this game, the Dragons last week, they were pretending to be a shit team when really inside they're a very good team. Just like this beautiful little beer that Mountain Culture have put together. It looks a lot like a Great Northern, but it's not. It's a Grouse Southern fishing IPA. It's also got a large fish on it that's about to die. So just like the Sharks this weekend. So let's give this one a crack.
Gonna go fishing for sharks, are we?
Yep. As I said, it is beautiful on the inside. Looks like a shitty Great Northern, but it's much better than that. So let's introduce our panel that are going to take us through tonight, and we've got a few people with us. We've got one of the newest members of the panel, young Liam. He is the young one of the panel now, taking Jesse's place. Jesse's a little jealous, I think, that he's no longer the baby on the panel. He's got middle child syndrome now, and because we've got Big T and Hasman. Hasman, I understand before you go through the Dragons team list that you had, I don't know, something you wanted to say. I'm a bit scared to ask, but you had some words that you wanted to proffer us with.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. So just before we get into the team list, I just want to thank Donny for his masterful display with heroes and villains on Sunday in my absence. You did me proud with the same sort of passion that I would have expected for myself. So I might have to pick up my game, otherwise you might end up taking over. And the second thing I wanted to just say, which I would have said on Sunday if I'd been here, is welcome to Liam, our resident referees expert. Now, Liam, you can rest easy in the knowledge that you are going to get peppered with questions about the rules. So be prepared, son, because it's coming.
I'm all prepared, mate.
The disruptor rule, because I get the feeling we'll be discussing that a little bit at some point.
The disruptor rule. We've got to find some people that understand it. I don't think the referees understand it, so I think that's throwing Liam under the bus.
Referees don't understand a forward pass, Donny.
That's true.
They want to get rid of the kickoff
or double movement. They don't understand double movement.
Well, I don't think most of the fans understand double movement.
Oh, if you're talking about the bloody Dominic Young one, Cole Flanagan dropped off.
He did, that's right, yeah.
He let go.
Yeah, I talked about that last week.
He lost control of the tackle. That was a fair try.
What about the Appy Coruscant no try?
Well, it's Appy Coruscant, so who cares?
I Anthony said that was very close, but
That was close.
what was the correct decision? Yeah. But anyway. Well, I said that was going to be before you take us through the team list. Well, do you think? Take us through the team list. What's the Dragon side look like?
Not too dissimilar to last week, to be perfectly honest with you. The fullback is Toro Sloan. The wingers are Christian Tuipulotu and Mikhaili Ravalawa making his very welcome return. Good to see him back. The centres, Jack Bird is going to be replacing Moses Sawley Hughes. Got a little bit of a knock on Thursday, and he's gone for a day or two. Zach Lomax will be with him. Cole Flanagan and Ben Hurst, captain. The quarterback is Rolo and Hame Sele. The hooker is Jacob Little. In the second row, Raymond Faitala Mariner and Jaden Sewer. Tom Eisentooth will be locking the scrum. Hopefully won't be playing in the centres again. On the interchange bench, the recent addition, Farmanu Brown, Balake Laurie, Jack DeBellin, and Ben Murdoch-Masila. The coach is Shane Flanagan, and unfortunately, the referee is Todd, the Redhead Smith. Translation:
in the bunker.
Well, we've got a good record under Todd Smith.
In the bunker as well, so we're double stuffed.
Well, we've got a great record under Todd Smith. I mean, I don't know what you guys are complaining about. I mean, just because
we've got a fantastic record. We have we've got 100% loss record.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we're very consistent. Very consistent with Todd Smith. Never won a game.
Yeah.
Consistently inconsistent.
He'll be running around the field trying to find shade all game because it's during the day. He's a shade caller, that bloke. Hey, how red's his hair?
Well, it's gonna be raining all week, so it's gonna be flooded Shark Park.
Oh, not.
Wouldn't need to be more than a drizzle to flood Shark Park. Bloody
No.
True.
worst stadium in the entire league.
It'll smell too.
100%.
Shark Park smells because it's built on a swamp.
And there's a
It is.
No
sewage
wonder they
plant
used to
not
call
far.
it Ramonda Stadium.
Yeah, remind us.
It's also
It's
filled with Sharks players. Big T. That's also why it stinks.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Captains.
before we do have a chat about our team as we normally do, we better go into this.
Come with me as we go behind enemy lines.
G'day, Dragons fans. I'm Big T, and this is Behind Enemy Lines. Round 9, Dragons versus Sharks. Before I bring in our guest, we haven't got in the guest because Cronulla supporters are spastics. Here's the Scummers team. We've got Will Kennedy at the back, Sione Katoa, and Ronaldo Mulatalo, the best soccer name in rugby league. On the wings, Jesse Ramian and Kale Iro. It's Kevin Iro's brother, son, I think it is. Daniel Atkinson. He's in the halves. Nico Hines, Tom Hazelton, Blake Brayley, Oregon Kafusi, Brenton Nikora, Teague Wilton in the second row. Cam McGuinness locks the scrum. Jack Williams, Talakai Rudolph, and Hamlin Ueli on the bench. Craig Fitzsimmons coach. We haven't got a Sharks fan tonight because they're scared and they don't want to come on. But I was going to talk to him about Blake Brayley. What's his chance for Origin? I think he's a good chance for Origin. He tackles, he runs, his tacklings are up around the 45, 47 mark every game. And last week he he made 53 tackles against the Raiders. So I thought he was a good chance of making the Origin side. What do you think about that one?
Is he going to get picked ahead of Appy Coruscant or Reece Robson? I wouldn't have thought so.
Yeah. Oh,
Wade Egan's another one in the conversation too.
Wade Egan. So there's a few of them out there. I was also going to say, you guys haven't played anyone. They haven't played anyone. They beat the Warriors in the first round. I thought the Warriors were going to be a top of the comp, but the Warriors are down the bottom. They're playing as well as I thought they would. We've written this down. They won against the Bulldogs. They lost against the Tigers. Then they beat the Raiders. Then they had a bye. Bunnies, Cowboys, Raiders. So who have they played? Cowboys probably the only team up there. But I'm just going to put shit on them about that. You know, they haven't played anyone. How can they say they're leading the comp when they haven't played anyone? They haven't played Broncos. They haven't played Storm, Roosters. So we'll see.
We're still going shit.
Exactly right, but we'll see how they're going when they play those teams. Also, another one, Adam Fanua-Blake's coming to the club next year. They have Royce Hunt, Toby Rudolph, Oregon Kafusi, Jesse Canhill, Hammy Newelly, Max Bradbury, Tom Hazelton, and Tuku Hau Tapua. He's 114 kilos, 6'5" monster, on their books. So someone's got to miss out. So if another club comes to them and comes to those players, they're all contracted. Most of them are contracted 2025, 2026. But what's a contract these days? Like, you can get out of a contract whenever you want. So if we want a big forward, look, Royce Hunt, he's even not even in the side. How good's Royce Hunt? He's a good player. So would you take any of those players over what we have? Anybody?
Man.
I'll go through again. Royce Hunt, Toby Rudolph, Oregon Kafusi, Jesse Calhoun. He's a 22-year-old kid. Max Bradbury, he's a 20-year-old kid. Hammy Newelly, Tom Hazelton, and Tuku Hau Tapau. He's a 25-year-old. Come from the Roosters, I think. Went to the Sharks from the Roosters. But he's a 6'5", 114 kilos. So
I'd take Rudolph.
I'd take pretty much all of them. Pretty much any one of them is better than most of what we've got in the front row.
Yeah, well,
I'll take any
Hayden goes all right. He's at plus 3.
with Fanua-Blake coming next year, somebody's got to go out of that puzzle.
Yeah, I like your suggestion of Rudolph. Rudolph would be our best front rower. And
For sure. Most of them
too.
Sorry, mate,
Most of them
Royce Hunt would be our best front rower. And he's can't even make the Sharks team.
Yeah, most of them
I
would
wouldn't
make the
mind
starting
having
team
McInnes back at the club
at
too.
most clubs. I'm talking about Braden Bailey as well. Talking about Blake Bailey as well. He made 53 tackles against the Raiders last week. And I was just looking through. The most tackles in the NRL is by Cam McInnes. 81 tackles in one game. 81 tackles. Wow, that's a tackle a minute. Plus. Well, anyway, that's our talk about the Sharks team and how shit they are, but we'll see how we go on Sunday. We'll see how we go on Sunday.
Definitely the man to shut down, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, definitely.
Yeah.
So
Same with Kennedy.
else?
Same with Kennedy. He's
Kennedy?
also probably the best player to shut down as well because he's just, because at the moment, I think he's like one of the best fullbacks breaking tackles in the league at the moment that I'm sure.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'll wait a minute after that comment, Liam. I'll just wait for Rob Segurna to jump in the comments. Surely, if he's watching, he'll be firing up because he reckons Will Kennedy's the most overrated player in the competition, and reckons that he should be copping way more shit than Tyrell Sloan gets from our fans.
Well, I was going to say, but I think Latrell Mitchell is the most overrated player because everyone talks him up, but he doesn't do crap at the Rabbitohs at the moment. He's just keeps getting himself suspended at the moment. So, But I think Latrell Mitchell is the most overrated because he's just not doing crap anymore after he left the Roosters.
Yeah.
He's lazy.
Anyway,
Yeah.
It's great that he's ruled himself out of Origin. Yeah, so yeah, it's like he was.
There's
Like
younger
he's
blokes to
anyway.
go in
Yeah.
Origin. What a
But
sample.
There's players in
I-
form. He shouldn't be considered.
yeah, that's right.
No, he shouldn't
But I think
Anyway, what are we talking about Latrell Mitchell?
that's right. That's right. I think the Sharks back five are dangerous.
Mulatalo.
Katoa and
He's having a great
Mulatalo on the
season.
wings. Oh, Sandy Katoa scoring every week, I think.
And Mulatalo.
Ramian and Kalen Iro.
Yeah.
Kyle
I
Iro.
think he's Kevin. I think he's Kevin Iro's son.
Yes.
But he's going to be a handful, I think.
And Atkinson's been a fine for the
missing,
Sharks.
they're missing experience at number 6, but he played last week and absolutely killed it. So
Nico
Yeah,
Hines
well-
is playing for an Origin spot too.
Nico Hines leading the Dally M. He's in great form. So you
Yes.
talk about their back five. Their 7 goes all right. Their forward pack is.
look at that.
I mean, they're on top of the table, and
Yeah.
you
they
talk
are.
about the fact they
Look at-
haven't played anyone, but they're still going pretty bloody well. Like they've beaten what's
Look
in
at their
front of them.
bench. Look at their bench. Talakai, Rudolph, and Henry Nurelli, all starters at any other club.
Well, it's also punch too, which we don't have. Like
Size.
That's right, yeah.
all 3 of those guys come on, and they have an impact. They bend the line. They do what a bench player is supposed to do.
And they play a fast
Yeah.
brand of footy.
Yeah.
Anyway, well,
Right.
that's the Sharks for this week. But Big T,
Let's go. Let's go for a walk down memory lane. I can change these slides. This is good for me. Come with me as we take a walk down memory lane. We're at Campbelltown Stadium, round 5 2020. That was the lie year. Dragons versus Sharks. Crowd, 103. Referee, Henry Perenara. We'll just go through the sides. We've got Duffy, Pereira, Aitken, Lomax, Ravalara, Norman and Clune. Interesting ones about this one. Clune's in the side. I'll tell you in a sec. Kerr, McInnes, Vaughan, Frizzell, Fui Mayono, and Trent Merrilocks the scrum. Ben Hunt was dropped for this game, dropped for the bench, and come on and played 9. This game, Graham Laurie and host on the bench, coached by Paul McGregor. The Sharks side, Kennedy at the back, Katoa, Dugan, Ramian, Hiroti, Johnson and Townsend. At the halves, Feedy, Brayley, Woods, Nakora, Graham, and I think that says Rudolph. I can't see that at the bottom there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Rudolph.
Williams, Tracy,
Have you-
Hamlin, Newberry, and Sorensen. John Ross was the coach. This game, the Dragons, what have I got it written down here? The Dragons hadn't won a game for 281 days. They hadn't scored a try for 86 days. Like I said, this was during the COVID year. We played the Sharks at Campbelltown. First try came in the 7th minute from Mawini Hiroto. Scores a try. He's still in the side. This is from 2020. Scores a try. Sharks 6-0. Ravalava scores in the quarter after a beautiful pass from Duffy over the top. Cuts out 2 players. Rava scores. Dragons try. Dragons 6-4. Next try. Sione Katoa scores a try for the Sharks. Sharks 10-6. Matt Duffy scores their next try in the 30th minute. Dragons 12-10. Into the 40th minute, right on the bell. Ben Hunt runs from dummy half over for a try. Dragons 18-10 at halftime. Into the second half. This beautiful man, look at him, eh? Look at his face. Only a mother could love that face. Anyway,
About his face the
he's
other
playing
night.
against it. It wasn't. Hopefully, the other night. He's playing against us this week, so we've got to stop him. Kevin McGinnis goes over from dummy half under the sticks. 24. Dragons 24. Dragons 24. Cronulla Sharks 10. Old man time. Wade Graham scores their next try. He scored one earlier, but it was a knock on, so he didn't get that try. But he scored this one. Old man Wade Graham scores the try. Dragons 24, Cronulla 6. And Big Rava goes over right on the bell. Dufty floating a ball over. It was majestic, the ball he flew. Just went over. Got another cutout pass, same as the first one. Scores his second try. Zach Lomans kicks 5 from 5 for the day. And full time, Dragons 30, Cronulla 16. All right. Well, that's another week of behind enemy lines and a great win in a walk down memory lane. I hope you enjoyed them. Thanks for joining us. Dragons for life, baby. The rest is history, and there's much more to be made. Thanks for joining us, the guest. He's not even here. Bad luck. Back to you, Donnie. And that's a walk down memory lane and behind enemy lines. Thank you.
Fantastic, Big T, as always. And I like the fact that you highlighted one that came after a period where the Dragons hadn't been going all that well, and we managed to come away with the chocolates. So perhaps we can.
It was a good win too.
It was, mate.
The first one seesawed backwards and forwards. Well, Sharks led, then we led, then Sharks led, then we took it away when Dufty and Hunt scored. So I thought that was a good win, and I thought I'd take us back to that one.
I'll have to apologise to you, mate, because the reason we don't have a guest is because I didn't send a message to Dan. I'm sure he would have come on if I'd asked him. And so it's not so much the cowardly Sharks this time as the stupid, forgetful host.
Shh, don't say things like that.
Well, I think Dan would have been stuck on a train anyway.
Yeah, he would have loved to be the person on the train talking loudly on their phone instead of having to endure it like he normally does. All right. We don't have Coco on tonight, but we are going to stick with the Sharks, talking about the Sharks a little bit longer as we go into this.
They're slugging it out in the middle of the field. The Dragons' front row has knocked his block off.
His block is knocked off?
It's time to look at the one-on-one battles that will decide the game. Will it be the key position players? Will the fight be won out wide? Or will it be one up front? Strap yourself in for Coco's Clashes!
Well, as I said, we don't have Coco on tonight, but we're gonna get together as a team, and between the five of us, maybe we can be as good as Coco. I know that's a big task, but I think each of us can make up 20% of the brilliance of Coco in this segment. And she did say she was going to send me a video, but she didn't send one through. So unfortunately, you're stuck with our ugly mugs. But I'll go first, and I think just like pretty much every week, it's the battle I'm looking forward to, and the battle that I think is really important for us is through the middle. Francis Bolo Hame-Sele starting up against Tom Hazelton and Oregon Kabuki. I think we can go toe-to-toe with them. The bloke that I'd throw the gauntlet down to is Hame-Sele. Very good defensively last week, but putrid in attack. We need a higher work rate from him, and we need more efficiency from him with the ball in hand. To be running sort of 6-7 metres every time you run the ball, that's not good enough for a starting prop. So he needs to actually really rip in and have a go for me. I was very disappointed in the way that he performed last week. And then you sort of go to the other middle forwards, and we sort of already talked a little bit about the Sharks with Talakai, Rudolph, and Hamlin Uele up against Laurie, DeBellin, and Murdoch Masilla. They're our guys coming off the bench trying to have some sort of impact. And I think that's where the game's going to be won and lost is with those five players up against each other through the middle of the field. I'll go to you, Liam. I mean, what do you see as let's look at it like everyone can sort of look through this team and find battles we're going to lose.
I'm going to go to battle with the halfbacks with the experience of Hunt up against Nico Hines, who's still trying to find his fit. Well, has found his fit as a halfback, but I'm going to go with Hunt, probably out kicking Nico Hines this game, hopefully. After a dismal game last week, I'm thinking Hunt bounce back and kick the cow poo out of the Cronulla defenders and that. I'm trying to keep the scoring minimal, but
Cronulla Sharks.
I think Ben Hunt is going to be the player to watch against Nico Hines this week with their experience and kicking.
Jesse, Jesse, looking across the teams. I mean, there's plenty of battles that I think the Dragons lose. What's the battle that we win?
Battle that we win, probably. I can't really see where we win, to be honest.
One battle, one position, one player that's better than his opposite number. Come on.
Probably
one.
Lyro. That's what I think. I don't know if
Lomax against Lyro.
I think 90% will be Hunt will kick bomb for Lomax, and Lomax will be looking to outjump Iro and come up with a 4-pointer, or even just jump and bat it back for one of his supporting players. Iro's not really tall, so I think Lomax can outjump him, but the Sharks would have studied our game plan as well and see where they can exploit our deficiencies, and I'll be no doubt looking to take a leaf from the Roosters handbook and take that into the game against us on this weekend.
Well, it doesn't take long to study our handbook. It's basically just Hunt kicking it to Lomax. I mean, how hard's that to defend if you know it's coming? Because you know it's coming.
Play a fast brand of footy.
Pretty hard. It's pretty hard to defend. Lomax is pretty damn good at it.
The Roosters were absolutely bloody woeful at it on Thursday, weren't they?
Well, the Roosters are the first team that have been able to stop it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, guys,
is that much different to 2010, Hasman? 2010, we ran the exact same shape to the left-hand side of the field every single game, and we score from it every single game. Just because you know it's coming doesn't mean you can stop it.
I was going to say, Sacco Max is 5 centimeters taller than Kyle Iro. So, Sacco Max has that advantage at center against Kyle by a 5 centimeter taller height difference.
I think the key against
you go.
Key against Cronulla. The key against Cronulla. I think Cronulla's key is their bench. As Hasman says, they've got their long bay jail front rowers. Rudolph, Hammy, Newelly, they're just monsters coming off the bench. See us if it's Talakai. How are we going to stop him?
Laurie doesn't provide the same impact.
What we've got to do. No, they don't. We've got Laurie.
No one provides the same impact. Why single out Laurie? No one on our bench provides the same impact.
Single out Laurie?
No, that's right. JP.
Well, Laurie provided more impact than Jack DeBellin last week.
He's a Billy Burns at the front row.
Yeah.
That's what I said last week. About
Ben went up a Silic Friday.
He's on the extended bench.
Burns.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm so sick of everyone targeting Blake Laurie. Like, it's fucking bullshit. Like, it's like people stopped watching the game. They've stopped watching the game. They've decided Blake Laurie's shit, and even though he was the forward that made the most meters per minute last week, more than any other forward in our entire fucking team, and people are still saying he should be dropped. He should be in the starting lineup. Harley Stelle should have been dropped. Blake Laurie actually had a freaking go last week, and people are still sinking the boot into him. Actually watch the game. I don't understand why people are still targeting Blake Laurie. There's Rob Saguna. Here we go. On Will Kennedy. There it is. He is a pussycat in a man's game. He has Long Bay jail props running it up. And the form halfback. He is no Sloan. He doesn't know which way the try line is. A cross-dressing field runner. I don't know what that last bit means. I think he's mixed some metaphors up there, but
No, I think you must be thinking of bloody Reece Walsh.
Well, I think this could be the game. Flanagan really he circled this game for months because he's mentioned that the Sharks haven't won a comp since I left. I don't know how the Sharks are going to react to that.
Yeah, that's right.
It's his first time coaching at Shark Park since he left the Sharks back in 20.
I bet they don't win a comp on Sunday either.
Well, comps aren't one.
Who cares how they react? He'll still be right, even if we lose on Sunday.
He will be.
Yeah, we're going to get... It's going to be a hard-fought contest on Sunday, even though I can't watch it. But I reckon it's going to be a really good contest on Sunday this week.
Well, if wet weather's if we get wet weather,
yeah, it's supposed to rain all
Newcastle
week.
game be any indication for us? I mean, Tyrell Sloan, remember what he did against the Knights. It wasn't a great game for himself, and then guys just couldn't adapt to the conditions.
Yeah, how wet's wet?
Himself in the wet.
How wet's wet?
It's all about 50 mil.
It needs to be a drizzle.
It won't be that. Won't be as wet as that.
Mm.
Well,
I agree with you.
Lately, wet weather footy, the Sharks were too good as well.
What was that?
Because they swim in the water, not like us. That's what Newcastle outplayed us in the wet weather footy because they actually played to the advantage, the rain and that, while we didn't take advantage. And Sharks are, in the past year, years when I watched the Sharks play in rain, they're really good, so they might have that advantage over us if it does rain.
Yeah. What was that, Hasman?
Don't know what was I saying. Oh, that's what I was agreeing with Mohammed Dib regarding his comment about a particular forward being one-dimensional.
I agree. I agree with that. But who isn't? Who isn't in our team? It just seems to be personal attacks on Blake Laurie. Well, the Couchman brothers are going. They're going well. I think they're fantastic players, but they're pretty. They're pretty young in their careers, and they do pretty much the same thing. They just take the ball up, make their tackles. Jack DeBellin's pretty one-dimensional. I think all of our forward pack, Frankie Molo's one-dimensional. All our forwards are one-dimensional. None of them are great ball players that there's no Junior Paolo type skills in our forward pack. There's no Nelson Asofa Solomona type size that's going to bash down the door. There's no got there's no front rowers in the world like Payne Haas. But
even Paddy Carrigan,
who is a forward in our forward pack that actually has more than one dimension?
Luciano Leilua. He's been named in our reserves.
Not really.
Yeah, Leilua's right. That's a good shout, though.
Maybe Blake Laurie's not.
He's got a bit of a
And Toby Couchman.
Jaden Silver's a good edge runner.
Okay, I might be mistaken there. I'm not sure Blake Laurie is one-dimensional because he can drop the ball and he can give away penalties. He's got two dimensions.
Yeah.
Yep.
When was the last time he dropped the ball? This is what I'm talking about people who don't watch the fucking game. When was the last time he dropped the ball? It was a month ago. It was a month ago. No, he didn't drop the ball against the Tigers. Last time he dropped the ball was in that torrential rain in Newcastle. And on Sunday, that will be a month ago.
Reeling him in.
Well, we are going by the Sharks, so we've got to go fishing.
It's too bloody easy to wind up, Donny. It's too easy.
The other player I was also thinking, which is the 18th man, Michael Molo. He hasn't been that great of a
He's been
player,
all right.
but recently he's been selected as the 18th man for us.
He's done his job when he's had his chance this year.
What's that?
Michael Muller's done his job when he's had a chance this year.
Mm.
He's been
see,
better than he has been in previous years.
I see Molo as a similar player to Hame Sele, and I think Molo so far has done a better job than
Yeah,
Sele. Sele to me is the guy that I've got under the most pressure. He's the one that's under my blowtorch. I want to see a lot more from Hame Sele. Like he's a guy that's come back to the club. People have got big raps on him. He's got faster legs than Blake Laurie. He should be able to do that late footwork and get between defenders and find his front, play the ball quickly, get us rolling. But he's not doing that at all. He's not even trying to do that. 7 runs in 50-odd minutes last week. That's horrible.
But our entire forward pack does like that too.
Yeah, but Sele was the worst. Sele was the worst. He had the worst work rate, and he made the least meters per carry. We need more from Hame Sele.
I was going to say, Donny, I was thinking if we change one of our centres out for one of the players on the reserves, which is Matt Peni, so drop Jack Bird to 14 role and bring in Matt Peni in the centres, and then drop maybe Laurie out. That's what I was thinking. And then have Jack Bird as a backup second rower. So bring Matt Peni into the centres, Bird the bench, and drop Blake Laurie out. Or drop Hame Sele, bring Laurie back into prop, and then have Jack Bird on the bench.
I'm surprised to see Matt Peni still getting a gig on that extended bench, to be honest. Yeah. He's there every week. He had 3 or 4 errors in that New South Wales Cup game last week that really cost us at important stages. He hasn't played centre at all this year. He's played exclusively at fullback. So I don't think that's an option. I don't think that's something that Flanagan is considering. But it's always good to have some new ideas, some different ideas. I guess I'll go to you, Hasman, in talking about our team. Rather back for Sully. Do you expect, as we sort of spoke about on Sunday, do you expect Bird to switch sides and partner with Tuapolotu?
No, I think Flanagan will probably stick with the Lomax Ravanawa connection on that. On that right
that's what I mean. So if Bird is partnered with Tuapolotu,
the flick pass. So
on the other side.
Yeah, I think Tuapolotu and Bird will probably stay where they are.
Mm.
Well, so Bird will have to switch sides to link up with Tuapolotu because Bird isn't on that side at the moment. So Bird was next to Lomax last week.
Well, he's listed at 3.
I think Flanagan might be
Well,
he's got to be on the inside of Tuapolotu.
Yeah, the numbers mean nothing.
No, that's right. That means nothing. But I think he's putting Lomax up against Ira. I think that's what Flanagan's looking at. Having Lomax up against Ira. Lomax has got better footwork. I think that's where we've got to attack down that side. Lomax and Christian Tuapolotu on that side. I think they'll score a try or two. I think they'll score on that side.
Well, is Rava certain to play? I mean, he's only had, 4 or 5 days. He's been named, but he's no certainty to play. I mean, is that maybe why Matt Peni has been named in the reserves?
Matt Peni has been there every single week. There has not been a single game where Matt Peni hasn't been on that extended bench. No, Rava's 100%. He was close last week. He'll definitely play.
Can I just go back to that Blake Laurie making errors? Blake Laurie isn't even in the top 50, like you said last week, Donny, for errors. The lowest errors in the top 50 is 7, so it's been 8 weeks, so he hasn't even made an error a week, so he's down there somewhere. Top 3, Tom Trebojevic, 17. Number two, Ben Hunt, 17. Number 3, Zach Lomax, 17 errors this year. So that's where our errors are coming from, our halfback and one of our centres. So
Yeah, and
there you go.
I guess people forgive those
Mike Murray
players
doesn't
for
make
their errors,
Well, he does.
but they forgive those players for errors because they're making errors in trying to create something, in trying to do something special, in trying to come up with that trick play. Whereas Blake Laurie, I think he's only had 3 errors this season.
Correct. Totally
3
correct.
errors all season, and people talk about it like he drops the ball all the time. But when he makes an error, like as I said, he's a one-dimensional player. He's just taking a hit up, and there's no excuse for the drop balls that he comes up with. So they're just cold.
Yeah,
He's
right.
not trying to create
Right,
anything. He's not trying to come up with an
But
offload because he doesn't have one. So yeah, but only a 3, maybe 4 errors this year.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't go back that far to find out how he's made. But like you're saying, Ben Hunt and Zach Lomer trying to create chances. Well, Zach Lomer makes most of his errors when he goes up for the ball. When the bomb goes up for him, which we talked about before, he makes an error then. That's trying to do something for the team. And you're saying Blake Laurie makes errors running the ball up. And then they sort of happen at the more crucial times as well. So people seem to pinpoint
when we're on the attack.
Blake Laurie made their error and they scored.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So that's where Blake Blocker gets the bad name from.
According to Zero Tackle, Blake Laurie's made 7 errors.
So I was going to ask the question too.
Zero tackle. Okay. Well, according to the NRL.com, he hasn't made 7 errors.
He must be just off the top 50 then.
This is 7.
So we talked about
73 in the NRL.
We talked about.
Okay.
There you go.
So he's what's the 53rd for errors? Did you say, Jess?
Who's going to drop
73rd.
Well, that's on my list. Yeah, Big T. I mean, is he?
73rd.
What's that?
Yep.
Well, it was on my list, but
he's not in the NRL top 50. So
no, he's.
Leilua.
He's not the top 50 for errors. Yeah. Move on.
No, that's right.
Leilua.
Move on. Leilua, is he going to come into the side or not?
Who knows? We'll have to wait till Sunday.
I would.
I have a feeling.
You're going to ask me.
I was going to ask you that question. That was the next.
All right. Sorry, I'm
is he going to come in though?
I'd bring him in. Probably Ben Murdoch, Marcelo will drop off. But
I think everyone would bring him in. Look, see, he hasn't been dropped. He isn't named on the extended bench because Flano doesn't think he's in our best 17. He's named on the extended bench because he's not fit. So he's got to go through a fitness test that the Dragons are not expecting him to play. He's not ready yet.
Okay.
He's still got that calf issue. He's got a fitness test. If he passes the fitness test, he'll be in the team.
Could you wait till after Magic Round, Donny?
Yeah, I will. I don't know how bad the issue is, mate. Like we're on the outside looking in. We're getting no communication from the club in terms of how fit he is, but it's a calf injury. I think he was always targeting round 10. But if he's not 100%, then sure, give him till after the bye. Well, it's not going to change much for the dynamics of our season. It might allow us to maybe be a bit more competitive or win one of these next 2 games. But I'd certainly be being cautious with a calf injury. I wouldn't be rushing him back and risking having him out for another 6 weeks.
Yeah. It's just like a hamstring. You've got to be careful.
Yeah. But Liam, if Luciano Leilua does come into the side, he passes the fitness test. As I say, we've got no clue as fans as to how close he is to actually being 100% fit. If he does come in, who drops out? What happens to the 7?
I'm just scrolling through the teams. I'm thinking it might be. So, I reckon Ben Murdoch Marcelo might drop out. Raymond Fatalamarina back to the bench, and Lucio Leilua to the starting 17 into the run alongside. I think that might happen, but otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen till we find out on Sunday.
Yeah, well, none of us do. That's why we're here, to try and guess and then brag about it when we're right, and don't tell anyone when we're wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
What else we got? Jesse, talking about Jack Bird. Jack Bird playing his 150th NRL game. What are your thoughts on the Birdman's career so far?
I mean, it's been a roller coaster career. Obviously, started back in 2015. Nearly 10 years on. It's taken him a while to bring up the 150. We know he's had 2 serious knee reconstructions in his time at the Broncos. Won a premiership early in his career. Played Origin as well off the bench. And then, back in 2021, he rejoined his junior club. And, I still don't think he's the player he was back then when he won that premiership and was one of the best centers in the comp. But he's had a pretty good career, and we know what sort of player he can be. And he does try his heart out, but he has those silly penalties sometimes during games, and he just needs stuff out of his game. But all in all, a good career, local junior, and he's won a premiership. He's played in the biggest arena in State of Origin, so he's had a good career to date, and hopefully he can make some more memories in his time at his junior club in the Dragons.
I was going to say,
Flanagan, obviously playing under Flanagan, who gave him his debut back in 2015, and fitting that he plays his 150th game against the club he debuted for.
I was going to say, Jesse.
So I was just going to say, he was a local junior, and now he's a local senior.
Nice. Liam?
I was going to say, it was actually Jack Bird's second year in the NRL after he made his debut in 2015. Is when he won the premiership the year after he debuted in 2016. So that was his second year in the NRL playing, but as a centre for Cronulla.
Yeah, had a pretty good rise considering and again it was another player that the Dragons probably made a mistake with Jack Bird. Didn't think that because he's got rheumatoid arthritis or something like that, some sort of arthritic condition that the Dragons thought was going to limit his first grade career. I might be wrong in the actual thing that he suffers from, but there was some reason why the Dragons didn't think he was going to make it as an NRL player, and went to the Sharks, and very, very quickly, as you say, playing Origin and winning premierships, very quickly proved how stupid the Dragons management was, and I think they're continuing to prove how stupid they still are. Yes. All right, Hasman. I guess looking at the team. There's not a lot of changes. Pretty much just the one fourth change, Sully out, Ravalawa in. Given the size of the flogging we copped last week, are you disappointed not to see more changes to this team?
Well, I wouldn't have minded maybe seeing a big boy like Fafita come in, but look, I wasn't expecting many changes. Basically, because when we got pumped by the Dolphins, it was basically the same story. It was basically the same 17 that played in that game that played the week after. So Flano's not going to make wholesale changes from one game to the next. That's just not how he coaches. Look, I am disappointed that Bird's in the centres, but then again, who the hell else have we got? I wouldn't have minded seeing Marshke on the bench instead of Brown, just because if we lose a back, I think Marshke's a lot better placed to sort of replace them than Brown is.
I agree.
And also, I mean, last week we lost a centre. We had Tom Eisenhuth in the centres, and he got absolutely hammered. He was so far out of his depth against that Roosters backline, it just wasn't funny.
And Paul Kyle Flanagan went out there too.
Utility on the bench, not just a guy who can, come in, to replace the bloody hooker.
But didn't we have exactly the same thing? Didn't we have exactly the same thing against the Tigers? We had Jesse Markey was on the bench. We had a centre get injured, and Tom Eisenhuth went out. Tom Eisenhuth went out to the centres, and Markey didn't play a second of that game. Didn't get on the field. So I don't know whether Plano thinks either of them.
There was no way we were going to get away with that sort of shit against the Roosters.
Yeah, but whether it's Markey or whether I guess my point is whether it's Markey or whether it's Brown, Flanagan doesn't think either of them can play in the centres.
They're both the Moses Empire from Wish.
I was going to say, we've got that young kid waiting in the wings in Safelo Tamale, which could be an option, or Max Finai.
Yeah, well, Tamale at the moment's hasn't played in the centres for 3 or 4 weeks.
He's been playing on the wing in the New South Wales Cup for us.
He got dropped from the centres because his defence was awful, so he got moved out to the wing, and he's been much better since.
I was going to say the next best option that we might have is the other Finai brother, not Matt Finai, the other one, Max Finai.
Yeah,
Matt's the better twin out of those two. We've seen that already.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move into the next little segment. Let's do this.
Okay, guys, welcome to Jags Dragons Trivia for this week, the Tuesday Trivia. So my question, actually, I picked it up this afternoon. I was listening to it on the radio. Some of you might have been listening to SEN radio on Joel Kane's show this afternoon. So the question is, we're winding back the clock to our inaugural year of St. George Illawarra back in 1999, so 25 years ago, as we are in 25th year of the club. So my question is tonight, we played the Sharks in a preliminary final back in 1999. We won the game 24-8, so this should be a pretty easy one, nice and simple tonight. Who scored a hat-trick in that preliminary final, which we beat the Sharks 24-8, which we went on to make the grand final? So, yeah, who scored the hat-trick in that game? I'm sure a few of the panel will know the answer to that.
Check my kiddo.
First answer's up on the board, mate.
That's correct. Chock Mundine.
That, quite honestly, that still ranks, I think, as the best individual performance that I've seen. Now, I know there's sort of going back, and some people will bloody laugh at me that go a bit further back than I do, but I thought that was just one of the single best individual performances I've ever seen from Anthony Mundine in that preliminary final against the Sharks. And what we wouldn't give for a player with that sort of X factor to jump in. The other answer was Nathan Blacklock, who wasn't the correct answer, but a pretty decent guess for around that time as well.
He scored Poochie
in that cattle paddle grand final. We started favourites in that grand final. We know what happened in that grand final, but it was a great story from for us being a new team in the comp that year. Well, the first year we had St George and Illawarra Dragons, so St George Illawarra Dragons, and yeah, it was a great story seeing them make the grand final in their first year as the joint venture club.
Big T, you would try to jump in there?
Yeah, he schooled Peachy that day, Jock Mundine. Absolutely schooled him. He made him look silly at times.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was
That's
was
right.
an absolute.
That's right where he put it through and it bounced up and he popped it over and scored the try to the post. Yeah, good game.
Well, seeming we're looking at best derbies. What do you think the best derbies have we had between the Dragons and the Sharks? What would you say are some of the best games we've had over the years between Dragons and Sharks?
Well, I again will go back to one of my favourite games of all time. It was sort of, I think it was 1990, maybe 1989, Aston George against Cronulla at a packed Conquer Oval, and I remember Ricky Walford scored a length of the field try. The Sharks also scored a 100-metre try in the game. One of the most exciting games I've ever been to, and the Dragons won it with a field goal at the end. It was 23-22 or something along those lines. It was that's my favourite ever derby between the Dragons and the Sharks. And that's the one that sticks out for me. Hasman, have you got a favourite?
Look, anytime we beat Cronulla that's a good day. So I like them all equally. Having said that final we were talking about with Mundine just showing what an absolutely class player he was, scoring 3 tries and just owning that game was just absolutely sublime.
Yeah, no, there's certainly been some rippers over the years. Jess, do you want to jump in there again?
It was.
Yeah, I'll say mine. Mine was at this venue. As you can see in the background at Wynn Stadium. It was a qualifying final in 2005. Was sold out. The Dragons finished second in that season. The Sharks finished 7th. I think it was the first final we had against the Sharks since 2002. The Sharks burrowed us out of the competition that year, but the Sharks were actually, they led us 12-4 at half time. They were looking good and they looked at a chance for an upset, but we came from behind and it was a really great game to watch. The semi-final at Wynn Stadium, I think that was the time we played a semi-final down in Wollongong. So we come home with the goods winning 28-22 and it was a sellout at Wynn Stadium and probably the best derby I've ever seen in finals footy. So great to see. Hopefully we do see another derby in finals footy in future years because Dragons Sharks, one of the biggest rivalries in the NRL.
It certainly is. It's been a bit of a one-sided rivalry lately. Yeah, Big T.
Yeah, Cronulla are our most played side in the NRL. We played them 52 times. Dragons have won 23, Cronulla 28, and one draw.
And what's our record like at Shark Park?
I'll have a look at that in a sec, but my favourite game is the 2010 game. We know how good that team was, what happened that year. 38-0. Brett Morris scored 2. Cooper scored 2. Costigan and Nightingale scored tries. Jamie Scout kicked 5 goals for 8.
I remember that game.
That was our best. That was our best team. 209, 8, 9, and 10 and 11 was our best team we've ever had. We know what happened in 2010, which was happy for us. So,
that was at Wynn, wasn't it? I remember that game.
52 times we played them since the 53rd time, and 20. It was at Wynn, yeah. That was a good game. I think I was there that day. But 23 wins for us, 28 for them. So we've got to make some changes there. And I think we've lost the last 5 on the trot. No, sorry. We've lost 9 out of the last 10, I think.
My last win was against that game you were going walk down memory lane with. That was our last time we beat the Sharks.
That's right, exactly right. The last time we beat the Sharks, yeah. Well, we've lost 9 out of 10, so we've got to do something to turn that around.
It certainly hasn't been a great record in recent times. All right, well, what we might move into now is some lower grades action on the Mad Dragons vodcast, brought to you by Complete Warehouse Solutions. And as we get into the lower grades, well, let's start with some highlights. And we've seen some interesting different things below players, below our panelists today. I guess he's taken his off by the looks of things, but he was saying go the Steelers, and Hasman said, who are the Steelers? Well, this is the Steelers.
The mighty Steelers.
So, Ryan,
as we come up for kickoff for what is a great grand final.
So, Ryan McAuliffe blows the whistle, and there's an error early to the Steelers. From the
There's the Steelers, all right.
Come back towards the inside. One off the ruck, steps left, goes close. But McEwen is taking the ground about a metre out now. So, Power in the dummy half. They go to the short side. They might get points.
As we come up for kickoff for what is a great grand final.
Let's see that again.
So, Ryan McAuliffe blows the whistle, and there's an error early to the Steelers from the kickoff. They'll come back towards the inside. One off the ruck, steps left, goes close. McEwen is taking the ground about a metre out now. So, Power in the dummy half. They go to the short side. They might get points here early, and they have. They've opened their account in the 2024 grand final. Straight down the wing there. Steelers trailing by 4 points to 0. They'll come to the left. Nice little chip through. It's into space if she can get there, and she does. Maria Paseka, the number 5 for Illawarra. Off a great kick there from some eyes-up footy from Evie McGrath. Combination of her and Ray. Working each side of the ruck. So Ray gets her hands on it. She puts a little kick over. And have a look at this. Bostock straight into her arms like they've practiced that at training, and goes over.
Had they practiced that at training, can you get it any sweeter than
Ray
that?
makes no problems with that one. And here's a nice settle now. Looks for a little bit of space and goes to the left, and she picks up her runners. Look out. Here they come again. Mia Rose Walsh in a little bit of space. And I said they're strike weapons. Steelers now. They get the scrum feed and straight into some space. Have a look at this. You can close the gates. There's no one at home. She's going to go all the way. Bostock. It's an Indy Bostock show. Well, she might end up scoring like a brother 3 tries. Have a look at this. She goes in for a double. Power sends it out now. Back to Jones. Jones sends it wide. Nice cut-out pass from the captain wide. Finds its way to McNamara, and she can find a try. So the Knights on the attack. They're going to work this edge again. They'll go to this eastern touchline and swing around and over again. And it looks like they're going to give it. Taja, I saw the goalpost move. I wasn't sure, but...
What's the touch guard looking at? She was out.
It's different, but...
Well, they've missed 2 conversions, and they've passed up a penalty kick right in front of the sticks. So they're going to try and get a try. They've backed themselves, have almost gone over with a hit and spin here. The Knights on the attack. They've got time on their side to repeat. And Power's gone by herself from the dummy half and got there. What a decision to go for the try instead of the kick. So Pahatu plays it there. Ray at a dummy half. Oh! What about the elbow up on the chin? I don't know. Look legit.
Jared Warrior Hargreaves, eat your heart out.
Manages to diffuse those little cheeky kicks.
In the second half of this grand final, the 2024
Nice
grand final, the Westpac Taja Gale Cup, as the Knights make their way to this western touchline. McNamara into a bit of space, and she's wrapped up. So McCulloch goes into dummy half. They'll send it back out, this time through Jones. She'll pop it up over there. Big pressure, and it's gone forward off Ray.
That's a disruptor, Hasman.
But into space, White, an opportunity. She can see the line, but she's come back in. She get there.
That's a disruptor.
12 the Knights, but
What a
they
tackle.
are confident. Here they go, back over to the western touchline. McCulloch had a little... Oh! Absolute rattler. They're half a metre out. Pahatu goes in the dummy half. They'll send it back. Ray gets her hands on it into a yawning gap. And the Steelers have gone over. Bronte Wilson. Wasn't sure, and it was Mia Rose Walsh pointed and said, you need to go over there and tap it. And so here go the Knights. And don't you love women's football? They're going to score with a few seconds remaining. They'd love to get one more, wouldn't they? Hope Millard barges through, gets through one, says, I want one in the grand final. Someone.
Oh, Hobie.
She pulls up to short. The siren's gone in the background. Referee Ryan McAuliffe blows his whistle on the 2024 Westpac Taja Gale Grand Final, and it's the Steelers going out victors here today at 24 points to 12.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 Tasha Gale Cup premiers, the Illawarra Steelers.
Yay.
Hey, Donnie, question for you on that. Do you think it's a luxury to have a player like Ella Costa still playing in that grade after playing NRLW last year?
A luxury, yes. Basham in there as well, who played NRLW last year. We had a couple of NRLW players. I don't think any other team had NRLW experience in their Tasha Gale Cup side. Yes, it's a luxury. Personally, I would have preferred to see Ella Costa and even Basham up playing up in Queensland in senior rugby league up there. I don't know whether it's the best thing for the Dragons NRLW side for them to be down playing at that level. I think they're too good for that level for mine. What are your thoughts on that, Jess?
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. They're going to be playing against senior girls in the NRLW later this year. And Ella Costa showed she's more than up to it. Charlotte Basham only played the one game last year, only got limited minutes. But it'd be Ella Costa was our rookie of the year last year, and I think she's going to have even a better year this year with that experience. And I think she'd be putting her hand up for a spot in the run-on side the way she was last year. And boy, could she put a hit. She's got good footwork as well. Does look awfully big, but very strong and powerful runner of the ball.
Yeah, she showed some versatility last year that I didn't know she had. Obviously, I'd seen her play through the middle, and that's all I've seen. So I was a bit surprised when Sowie sort of said, "Oh, go and play out on the edge and go and play in the centres," and
she did the job.
I didn't think she would. I thought it was a mistake, but showed that Jamie Soward knows a bit more about footy than I do, I suppose. But as you say, Jess, definitely did the job.
Yeah,
I guess sort of watching those highlights, Jess. I don't know whether you got a chance to watch the game, the full game. I watched the full game on the Sunday, but
no, I didn't get a chance. No.
What were your thoughts sort of watching the highlights in terms of what the Steelers girls produced and what you're expecting, from them moving forward into senior footy?
Well, I expect there's a lot of talent there, no doubt. The Steelers have a very good breeding ground, and I'm sure Jamie Soward would have been looking at players he'd like to see graduate eventually to the NRLW. I'm sure a lot of these, now that the junior rep season's over, they'll have to go back to their clubs and play some good footy there, and then if they're good enough, they'll get selected in they'll go to the Open women's side later the year in the Steelers Harvey Norman team to be a feeder club for the Dragons NRLW. So Soward would have looked at the best performance, and no doubt if he'll be looking at those players to graduate into the Opens and play for the Steelers this year, which obviously will be running at the same time as Harvey Norman, and they'll get to test themselves out against some top line women and some of the best women players in the country.
Yeah, I guess it's a pretty good point that you raise about the NRLW and the New South Wales Women's Premiership playing at the same time, and playing at the same time this year. So in the New South Wales Premiership, St George and Illawarra are they still planning to run
They are
run separate teams this year. So given Illawarra has access to all of these young players coming through, and their own senior talent as well, they've got plenty of talent that won't be in the NRLW. Would you expect that a lot of the NRLW talent that isn't picked for NRLW on any given week, will they drop back to play for the Steelers, or are they more likely to drop back and play for the weaker St George team?
Well, it depends. I'd say probably the Illawarra girls would play for the Steelers, and the Sydney-based girls would play for the Dragons. I mean, it would depend where. I don't know how it's going to work, having two separate teams. But that would be my pick. I'd say the Wollongong-based girls would play for the Steelers, and more the Sydney-based girls would play for the Dragons, unless the Dragons will have the same method as last year, where they pick players from their own area and not bring known and experienced players into the club and just build their own. That's the way I'd think. I think there'd be more playing for the Steelers, and the Steelers being one game short of the grand final last year, I think they'll be looking to field a strong side yet again.
Yeah,
the team that we had last year, but
yeah. I mean, I expect the Steelers to field a strong team, whether they've got NRLW players playing for them or not. So, I think it'd be nice to see that the Dragons actually be a bit stronger than they have been. But yeah. All right, let's move on from the Tarpagale Cup, and now let's go into some highlights of the other grand final for the mighty St George Dragons over the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs in the under-19s men's.
Final game on grand final day. Tatupu puts it high in the air, and it's taken nicely there, and he'll look around. Oh, it's a long pass straight away. I thought for one moment they're going to let the ball talk. Look for a quick play of the ball. They go to that short side again. Woods, both sides starting so fast. Rinakama pops the pass up. Hamish Wilson says, thank you very much. Bulldogs score early. He gets there eventually. They shoot it out the back. Hamoud looks for Tikine. Long pass for Naka. Naka for the corner. Tikina.
Peckham Harris.
Peckham Harris is the key. Yeah. He comes in just at the right time. Well, there, hand goes in there now. The kick. Tikina. And they get away with it too. Last time. Oh, Hutchinson picked up a pass from Kraft T. Morinanu. And they go bang, bang on the set after points. End-to-end stuff here at Combank Stadium in this UNE SG Ball Cup. All Williams has got to do is catch it. Catch and land. That's all he had to do. Lovely work. Siviki Tonga just bounced off that lead. Got Peckham Harris, throws the big dummy. Then he says to Peckham Harris, here you go, coming across, making the tackle. Fagalilo. Hamoud. Oh, can he get his hands free? He can. He just shrugs it off. Halangahu. He's got Williams outside. He wants him to come underneath, but he didn't. Halangahu takes the tackle all of a sudden.
Making them start from the beginning.
So Katina feeds it. Hamoud gets it out Backley. Here we go. Peckham Harris. Williams says, thank you very much. I'll bring it round. I'll grab two early.
There it is.
I reckon they'll let the ball talk here. Yeah, they are. Ackers bounce off to the left, sees a hole, goes for it, plants the ball down, or has Leorta. No, he's going to go back and points to the spot. I thought they'd run it. Oh, there's the ball gone backwards, yeah. Referee says, yeah, it went backward. Peckham Harris, room to move, a diving tackle from Fanau, but he's still going, Peckham Harris. Long pass. Ends up. Can they get through the hole? They can. Kafusi. He lets go down the side. That left side. Rinakama. Great. Oh.
No,
yeah, off the ground.
What a tackle.
Wide pass. He'll put it high in the air. That's exactly what he does. Waiting. They're going to go up. They're going to come down. He's coming down again. Morinanu. We saw him do it in the first half.
Lomax number 2.
Peckham Harris, long pass. Naka hits him on the chest. Poetry.
How Peckham Harris didn't get player in that, I don't know.
Pass. For now's on in Jersey. Oh, slicing through. Woods, Kafusi. He's got Rinakama outside.
Hey,
he says, no,
these guys are 19.
Peckham Harris. And Peckham Harris says, no, you won't.
How's that fullback,
Let's
man?
finish strong. Afu with the tap. He'll just go himself. He might roll over here, David Afu. Strong ball runner. And what's the referee going to say? He's pointed to the spot. Is he held up? Young. Woods. Back underneath, charging onto it. Alatini, hard to stop, can't be stopped. Puts the ball down quickly, and they job back quickly. The Bulldogs on the field in jersey 16. Pacific Tonga. Sever says, I want you, and got it. Conti for now. Woods. Woods gets solidly kicked. And
Mitchell Woods get that.
Long pass, can they? They're going to score a late try. Kafusi in the corner. Sotai Kafusi. And it is the St George Dragons 40 running out winners. The Bulldogs 18 in a dominant performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 SG Ball Cup champions, the St George Dragons.
Oh, when the Saints, Big T, probably the first time you've seen those highlights. I mean, what were your thoughts of some of the performers and the ways that we got those tries against the Dogs in a grand final?
So these guys are under 19s, right?
Yep.
Are these guys under 19s, yeah?
Correct, yes. Yes.
All right. So are any of them eligible? Any of them eligible to play NRL?
Well, all of them.
No.
Basically, all of them are eligible from round 11.
Okay. All right. It's good to see that Pacifico Tonga fella. Bloody hell, he's a huge boy, isn't he? I did see some of the highlights during the week. You were saying that Peckham Harris, he's a good player, only a little bloke. He's only little, but he's a good player.
Not much of him.
But that's right. No, that's right by the number 4. That's Lomax again. Lomax number 2. Put a bomb up for him, and yeah, and Kyle Stanley.
I feel a little bit sorry. I feel a little bit sorry for the number 4 because no commentator really knows how to say his name. I don't even know how to say it, but I don't think Moananu is it. It's Lyric Crafts T Moananui. That's how I say it. I'm not sure if that's correct, but he's pretty good.
They look like they've got a good side.
Yeah. No, we got the comment there from Ahmed Dib saying Willie Tallow seems to be a very good coach, whatever grade he coaches. I've got a huge opinion of Willie Tallow as a coach, and I know you've got a bit of time for him as well, Jess. Do you ever see him making it to the top level, NRL top level?
I haven't really seen him coaching, to be honest. So I don't really have a comment there. But Kyle Stanley coaches that team, correct?
No, Willie Tallow coaches the team.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Kyle Stanley's in recruitment.
Okay, I thought he was.
Kyle Stanley's recruited a lot of those kids to that team.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he runs the water or whatever. But Willie Tallow's the coach.
Okay, I didn't know that. No, but he seems.
So I asked a question.
Yeah, well.
Yep.
What the hell happened to that in Millwood? Wasn't he part of our development team, or is he gone?
He still
now?
is involved.
Oh,
so he's Millwood. I think what is it? I think he's head of Pathways, so he sort of oversees the whole thing.
Performance, I think. Yeah.
But the guys that are actually on the ground doing it. Stanley and Sean Timmins and guys like that are heavily involved in actually going out there to watch kids, and they're sort of our scouts that are recruiting players to the club, and that's I think it's the beauty of this St George Dragons team. This is not the fully homegrown FG ball premiers that the Illawarra Steelers of 2019 were. This is a team that is testament to the work we've actually done in recruiting over the last 2 to 3 seasons. You might not see the fruits of that at NRL level just yet, but there is half a dozen players from Ipswich in Queensland in this St George team. There's another few that are from Keebra Park on the Gold Coast. We've got a couple of absolute freaking guns from Penrith juniors who suffered injuries and Penrith ignored them. So we jumped in and gone, well, we actually think you're still a really good player even though you got injured. And now they play for us. Like the way that we have gone in and built this FG ball side, there's only a sprinkling of local talent in that team. It's not like it's a once in a generation group of players that live in the St George area. This is a recruited team that has been put together to get to NRL level, and they've shown that they're the best under-19s team in, well, I'm going to say the world, because that FG ball competition is the best under-19s competition on the planet, and they just won it.
Well,
so these are some of the best young players going around.
How many players do you think will go to Jersey Flag, Donny?
Was that Liam?
There's one bloody competition I want to see come back, which is the Holden Cup. I want that to come back.
Well, that kind of is. That's the Jersey Flag now. So the Jersey Flag is so that's under 21s, which is the same as the old Holden Cup under 20s competition. It's just it doesn't get as much media now as it used to. It's still the same competition.
Well, I don't like the new concept. I don't like the new concept of the under 20 teams, because I grew up with, same as you guys. We grew up with watching the Holden Cup under 20s where they had all the NRL teams. And then
Jersey Flag was actually
that just screwed everything over.
I grew up watching under 20s.
It wasn't really
third grade, first grade.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Gus said a few years back.
I grew up watching the under 23s.
One thing they did,
third grade and first
one
grade.
thing they did bad was getting rid of the under 20s, because during the COVID years, there was no junior footy.
Well,
right,
you know why they got rid of it. You know why they got rid of reserve, the national reserve grade competition. They got rid of the under 20s. You know why they got rid of it? Hasman, have you got a clue as to why they might have got rid of these competitions?
Not a clue at all, Donny. Wouldn't have.
Big T's pretty close to the money. It's money. Like everyone says they want these competitions. No one goes to them. No one goes and sees them. No one pays their money to get through the gate to watch these competitions. They don't make any money. They lose money hand over fist. And the NRL at the time, funding this under-20s competition, this national under-20s competition, they were going broke. Clubs were complaining about having to field teams. They did not want it. So it was all about money. If people say they want it, if you want it, support it. Get out there and watch these lower grade games. Turn up in droves. If they're getting 10,000 people to a Jersey Fleet game, a standalone Jersey Fleet game, then they'll go, oh, people are actually interested in this. They want to see this. Maybe there's an appetite to bring back an under-20s national competition. But at the moment, they get mums and dads, and that's about it. They get a few.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know what hurts it, Donny?
No one turns up to support it.
You know what they lack now? They don't have enough curtain raisers for the NRL games.
Yeah.
They should have them on the same game as the NRL game day, like they used to have. Like
pretty much every single game has a curtain raiser, Jesse, but no one's there to see it. Like there was a curtain raiser before the last Dragons game in Wollongong, and you looked at the NRL kickoff, which was 45 minutes after the curtain raise had finished, and there's no one there. There's no one at the ground. They're piling in. They're still coming in through the gate. When after the first grade game is kicked off, nobody turned up to watch the curtain raiser. Like there is curtain raisers every single game, just about, apart from the early Friday game. Apart from that,
but they should be doing it every game. Like there's some occasions
Well,
where the NRL game's the only game there.
When? Because it ain't this weekend. It wasn't last weekend. It wasn't the weekend before. Like it
The game
almost
against the
never.
Warriors, yes.
The only curtain raiser that was on last weekend was the ANZACs, the Aussies v the New Zealand. No,
That's always on it.
me and my friends, we got there just to watch the curtain raiser as well.
Yeah. ANZAC games
I mean,
a bit
Dragons
different.
home games. At Dragons home games, I mean. When
Yeah,
we played Cogger or Wollongong.
Pretty much all of them have a curtain raiser, mate. There's a curtain raiser before the game this weekend.
Yeah, there's a lot of time they're standalone games at either Collies or other suburban grounds around Sydney or the States.
Well, let's talk about the games that are on this weekend. The other games that are on this weekend is the Dragons taking on the Newtown Jets, and this is a standalone game at Henson Park at 3 p.m. So that's on the Saturday, and not a lot of changes to this side. They've got a couple of very close losses in recent weeks, and really feel like if they had won those games, they'd be up in equal second. But as it stands, they're sitting down in about 6th or 7th, I think, at the moment. Taking on a pretty strong Newtown Jets side, but we probably should start favourites and should be a good chance of coming away with the chocolates again. But we've had two last-minute losses in recent weeks. This is the way they line up. Matt Fenoi is at fullback on the wings. Sione Finau and Savelio Tamale in the centres. Max Fenoi and Ben Johnson. Josh Routh and Jesse Marshey is the halves pairing. Up front, Alec Tuatavake and Viliami Fafita. Connor Mulhyson is the 9. A back row of Dylan Egan, Dan Russell, and locking the scrum is Toby Couchman. And that leaves Ryan Couchman surprisingly dropping back to the bench, which I find a bit of a shock given how good he has been. Dan Russell gets a chance to start. I'm not exactly sure why they've gone down that path, but Haley Finau is on the bench with Ryan Couchman, Josh Corrich, and Jackson Sherab is at this stage in the side. And no Michael Molo, who played last week. He looks set to be 18th man for the NRL side if he's not a late inclusion there for some reason. Jonah Glover, the 18th man for the New South Wales Cup side. What's that?
I was going to mention now Jonah Glover because I thought you were going to forget about him.
No, I'd never forget about Jonah Glover. Always mention the 18th man, even though they sit on the pine and almost never get on the field. But
and cut the oranges.
Yeah, that's it. And the game that is before the first grade game is the Jersey Fleet game, the under-21s game. If you get the opportunity, it is sold out. Of course, if you're looking to get a ticket, you can't get one. So they've sold all 10 tickets for that venue. I think that's the capacity nowadays. But yeah, if you are going, make sure you do get there early. 1:50 p.m. So 10 to 2 is the kickoff for the Jersey Flag. I'm assuming the gates open about 10 minutes before that. But yeah, get there early. Get yourself a good spot up on one of the existing scaffolds. Be a good spot to sit there at Shark Park. But yeah, so Hayden Buchanan is into the team and a good opportunity to see him. He's playing his first year of SG ball, so he could play SG ball again next year. A young talent that won't be too far away from the NRL, but he's played Jersey Flag at the back end of last season, and looking forward to seeing him go again. Stephen Bates in the comments just saying Jonah Glover's actually going to play this weekend, so I'm not sure who's going to drop out to allow him to come into the side, whether Haley Finau misses out or if there's some other late change. But Jonah Glover looks set to play. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the late changes are going to be to see him get into the side. But yeah, the Jersey Fleet side, Wes Spring is at fullback. Ben Rumble, I'm not sure where he's gone. He was late scratching a couple of weeks ago and haven't seen him since. So, yeah, disappointing not to see him around. I don't know whether he's been signed by somebody else and moved on, or if he has picked up some sort of injury that's keeping him out. But I'm sure Stephen will let us know in the comments. But Wes Spring is at fullback. On the wings, Will Starling moves one out to the wings with Kai Russell, the other winger. Hayden Buchanan and Ben Lavender are the centres. The reliable halves pairing of Nick Quinn and Ashton Ward. The front row is Jacob Webster and Jet Liu. Kyan Jelterson is the captain and dummy half. Jack Quine in the second row alongside Nick Sagranis, who had a bit of a blinder in our win last week. Hamish Stewart is the lock forward, and an interesting-looking bench. Trey Barlow, who is a utility, Trav Barrett-Hancock, Callum Lightfold, and Lycan King Togia, who's a half as well. So they've basically got two utilities on their bench as well, which I don't know is a bit of a surprise to carry two versatile players. Lycan King Togia came onto the field and scored a double last week. Another of those SG ball players. I'd expect that the St George Dragons SG ball players will be coming into this team. There'll be a few of them that will come into this team in the next week, or maybe 2 weeks before they'll have a bit of time off, a bit of time to recuperate, and then they'll come into this flag side as well. So there's going to be a number of these 21-year-old players that are really going to be fighting to keep their spots. As the next group of the young brigade become available. So it's going to be interesting to see how that one plays out. Stephen Bates saying LKT played lock last week, which, again, as a ball-playing lock, he's doesn't strike me as being quite big enough to do that. But, yeah, obviously in the under 21s, he did a good job, scored a couple of tries, and seemed to pop up in the right places at the right times. And Benny Rumble with a hammy twinge, which those hamstrings they're always problematic. But again, taking on the Sharks, we're sitting okay in this competition as well. So just bring up the ladders just quickly, and the Dragons are in fourth in this competition at the moment with 5 wins and 3 losses, and within striking distance of the top end of the table. The Canberra Raiders, the team to catch in the under 21s at the moment. The Sharks, they are down in 11th, so we should start as pretty heavy favourites, playing before the NRL game. I've got a few things in the group chat. Yeah, Hasman's got to head off. He's jumped off. He says Lomax first try, Hunt anytime. Sharks 44-12 in the wet. So he doesn't have a great deal of confidence in terms of how we're going to go this weekend. And you look at the odds, and you can probably understand where he's coming from. Yeah. Stephen Bates also says Willie Tallale looking to take a bigger role in coaching Flegg now that the season is finished, and I think that's again a big positive for those young men, because I know they've got a lot of time. Every time you listen to them and hear from them, they've always got plenty of good things to say about Willie Tallale. So it'd be great to have him have a greater involvement with them. All right, well let's move. I'm not sure, mate.
No?
I don't know, mate. I'm not sure. It just says Willie. Will take on a bigger role. Sean Timmins will probably do a bit more with the NRL side, or he'll definitely be around. He'll definitely be doing something. But yeah, his team didn't win the grand final, so we're not talking about them. All right, let's move from lower grades now, and not a lot of news and rumours, but let's get off the Dragons for a little bit, and I'm not sure whose turn it is. I'll go to you, Big T. Jason Demetriou sacked, and our premiership winning captain Ben Hornby is interim coach. Of big news that's sort of just breaking today. What are your thoughts?
Huge news. Yeah, huge news. What's his face? Latrell got what he wanted. I think Latrell wanted Demetriou out, and it's going to be interesting in 2 weeks' time when we take on the Bunnies before the bye.
Yeah, well, that's probably the where it does affect us is the fact that we play South very, very soon. Liam, Ben Hornby. Not too many people love Ben Hornby. Love the Dragons more than Ben Hornby. How's he going to go coaching against us in just a couple of weeks' time?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I don't think he's going to have a very good time coaching against us because what I've heard so far from a close friend at work who supports the Souths, apparently what's going to happen is when Latrell Mitchell comes back from suspension, apparently they're going to shake up the spine / the back forwards with keeping Shy Gray at fullback, having Latrell Mitchell and maybe Campbell Graham, if he's back by then, in the centres.
He's not back.
And then having Jack Wyden and Cody Walker in the halves.
That's what I've heard too. Whiten and Walker in the halves.
Well, that'll work well. I look forward to seeing 2 5'8" and no organisers in the halves. Go for it, South. Yeah.
But I don't think the Souths will beat us. But I don't see the Souths beating us after the Charity Shield because after the Charity Shield, they've just gone running downhill quick at the beginning of the season. I don't see them making the 8. I got them as my wooden spooners this year.
But
yeah, I'd say leave South alone. They're keeping us away from the wooden spoon. They're doing us a favour. Keep doing it.
As you said, Donnie, it's a type of game that we could lose, knowing our up and down form this year.
Yeah, we'll probably beat the Sharks and then lose to South, and the roller coaster will continue. Like we'll beat the Sharks, everyone go, we'll never lose them again, and then we'll lose to the worst team in the comp. So,
yeah.
As a Dragons fan and Ben Hornby being our winning captain, I wish him all the best in the job. It's going to be a very big job for him.
Yeah, I hope he goes all right, but I hope he fails in a couple of weeks. Fails miserably, and he's under pressure.
I think Latrell and Cody Walker will take advantage of him and rule him. I just hope that doesn't happen, but I have a feeling that may happen.
Yeah. Yeah, LMC, good luck to Ben Hornby, except when we play the Rabbitohs.
Very nice.
I think there'll be plenty that will echo that. All right. Well, I guess, again, sticking clear of Dragons news, because there's not too much around about the Dragons, but Luke Keary retiring as well. So he's had some head knocks. He's going to play out the rest of this season, but he's going to retire rather than play the final year of his contract. Is this a bit of salary cap manipulation from South, or do you think it's
Roosters?
Genuinely time from the Roosters? Yes, I do mean the Roosters.
That's all good. He did play a really good career, won 3 premierships for his playing days, but I think he only did it because of personal reasons, like Dale Finucane just pretty much his family, what I've heard, his family said, you've had another concussion, we don't want you to get another one or next year, so maybe it's time for you to hang up the boots and spend the rest of your life with the family.
I guess, Jeff, the question from me comes because this is not an effective immediately retirement. This is.
It's not.
I'm going to play out the rest of the season. So it's not like he's fearing if I get one more head knock, I'm going to die. So why is it at the end of the season and not straight away?
I think that he's trained the whole preseason. They're in a position where they can have a shot at the title, and I think he wants to go out with a bang. And I think the way the Roosters burnt us the other day, they are right up there to win the comp this year. And there'd be no better way for him to go out than win a comp.
Yeah. I'm a bit more cynical. I think the Roosters are manipulating the salary cap to try and get themselves some more money, and they've given him a big brown paper bag and said, if you pull the pin, there's more where this came from. So
that gives them $4 million to splash next year.
Yeah, there's a question coming up about that in the next section.
Could be
into some viewer questions. So the first one, Big T, comes from Mad Lad. He says the Roosters now having $4 million to spend. Will that make it even harder for us to attract players?
For sure, we've got $3 million to spend. So they've got 3.8 or something they were saying, and people are going to want to go to the Roosters because Nick Politis gives you a brown paper bag.
Well, look at the players they've got leaving. They're losing Crichton, Keary, Hargraves, Manu, Suoliti, Keary, and then
JWH.
A couple of years they'll have Teddy moving on too, so they'll have plenty of cash to splash, and that if they get that, and as we've said before, if you're a half, your value will go up because there's not many halves and top line halves around to pick up apart from another club. Like someone announced on the radio this morning that if you're Jerome Luai, would you reconsider your deal at Tigers and say I can go run the Roosters? Like that's just an example of what could happen, but I don't know. I doubt that, but I'm just throwing it out there. It could. Like he has a premiership hope with the Roosters more than the Tigers. You know.
Well, I was going to say, Jesse.
I don't know about that.
I've heard that next year the Roosters are going to have Brandon Smith and Sam Walker in the halves next year. That's what I've rumors coming out everywhere.
I've heard
they're
that
going to have Sam Smith and Sam Walker in the halves next year, and give Sam Walker.
It's Sam Walker's
and they've
team.
totally given Sam Walker.
I've heard Sam Walker might be partnered with Jaden Sullivan. The Tigers have got too many halves. They're looking to offload some. That's a rumor that's growing legs. I've heard that a couple of times already. That the Tigers, they'll be looking to offload one of those halves, and Jaden Sullivan is the one that hasn't really fired for them at all. So yeah, he's an option. That they've obviously been linked with Lachlan Ilias as well, which is the next question. Like Rory McDonald thinks we could do worse than sign Lachlan Ilias. We had the same question on Sunday's show, but is there anybody that thinks Lachlan Ilias would be a good option for the Dragons?
No.
No? Anybody want to throw their hand up and go into bat for Lachlan Ilias? Because this has come up a few times in different Dragons groups of people that do think that he's a good option. Is there anybody willing to put their hat in the ring?
No, bring Sullivan back. Bring Jaden Sullivan back.
Big T?
Sullivan.
He's only 20.
He's a better half.
He's only 20. He's only 23 years old. So shut up. He's only 23 years old, so he's got a couple of years before he's going to come on. So I wouldn't mind giving him a go.
No, I prefer Jaden Sullivan over Lachlan because I don't know why, but Jaden Sullivan I reckon will be better since we've lost Talata Amon, and I don't see Talata Amon coming back.
Yeah, I said when Lachlan Ilias debuted for South that he wouldn't be able to shine Jaden Sullivan's boots. Like he was never that good as a junior.
He wasn't.
I could never understand why South promoted him to the top grade so quickly. I think they probably ruined any chance of him actually developing into a top line half. But as Big T said, he's only 23, and Phil Gould says it all the time. We give up on these young halves way too soon. We give up on them way too quickly. It takes a long time for them to actually get to the stage where they feel comfortable in the top grade. And that could be the same for Jaden Sullivan. Jaden Sullivan really hasn't been given an extended go in the halves at NRL level. Yes, he hasn't fired. Yes, he hasn't looked real flash. But, I personally don't think Jaden Sullivan's coming back so long as Shane Flanagan is the coach. And I think that goes for a few. I think Jaden Sullivan won't come back so long as Flanagan is the coach. And Zach Lomax will never come back to the club so long as Shane Flanagan's the coach. So I think there's a few players out there that, for whatever reason, personality clashes, and they're not going to get on.
It could be a moral. It could be a moral thing too. It could be like he was a peptide king, so they don't like what he did, and they couldn't forgive him. So see you later. I'm gone. I don't want to be here if he's going to be the coach. So
I don't know about that. I think it is more a personality type thing, rather like Shane Flanagan lets you know where you stand. He doesn't mince his words. He's pretty honest and all that sort of stuff. And some people don't take well to that. Don't enjoy that kind of frank honesty, and need a bit more of a cuddle, as you say all the time, Big T. Some players need a cuddle, and I don't know whether Flano's all that cuddling.
Well, I was going to say the Bulldogs
are all
are
going
interested.
in for that Lewis Dodd.
No, that's right. Yeah.
And
apparently, I heard the
there's
Bulldogs
not many
are
English
interested
halves that have made it in the NRL, so I don't know how it's going to work for South, but interesting to see how it goes. Lewis Dodd.
Well, that hasn't been announced yet either, so that's not official. That's all
very close, though.
It's all talk, isn't
I was going to say, Donny, I heard the Bulldogs are interested in Lachlan. In Lachlan as their next halfback, because apparently Drew Hutchison is not firing as well. Apparently, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, I saw the question around that when
they got Toby
that rumour popped up. Someone said, "How many halves do the Bulldogs need?" And I thought, well, they need to keep buying halves until they find one that's decent, because they don't have any halves that are decent at the moment.
Drew Hutchison does the job. He won't let you down. He doesn't. He's the type of guy that will do his job, and he won't let you down. He's
not a halfback though.
And he's doing the job. He is a half. He's come through as a half.
Yeah, through our junior system.
I've got a soft spot for him. He's from my we're from the same town. He's a very good passer of the ball, and he's always been a very good half down here, and he's been a very good Mr. Fixer for the Roosters, and he deserves his opportunity as a half. Bulldogs are on the up, and he's been part of that.
Well, as a Dragons junior, I actually always had a lot of time for Drew Hutchinson. I thought he was a very, very highly skilled halfback, soft hands, and did a lot of good things that halfbacks do. But I think at the end of the day, he's a halfback in the body of a front rower. He tackles like a halfback, but he's a big body and he's slow. And I don't think he's got what it takes at NRL level to be a half. You need to be sharp.
He could shift into the back row. Like he's got that. He's 29. But he's got a good ball playing skill in him.
He does, but he's not good enough defensively for me to do that. So I don't know. I think Drew Hutchinson, as much as I sort of liked him as a young bloke, I think he got that knee injury at the wrong time, and he would have had an opportunity to play halfback that whole season and missed out, unfortunately.
When the Dragons moved him on.
Well, I mean, we had to. I heard it was Tom. We didn't have to, but I mean, we had to. It was time. It was time. Like, he was not going to be the halfback anymore after suffering that year when he got had that knee reconstruction. That was a year he was going to have the entire season playing in the 7. Did his knee. The next year we had someone else. So what are we going to do? Re-sign him to be our third string halfback? I mean, the right thing to do was to say, see you later.
Well, yeah,
Well, bring back
at the time when he got his
Field.
injury, 1 week later, that's when we signed Ben Hunt.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll move on because we've been stuck on this topic for a little while. Somehow we got on Drew Hutchinson when we were talking about Lachlan Ilias. But I'll go to you, Big T. Glenn Daly says, if they ban the kickoff, how should the game be started?
We should just throw the game in the bin and never watch it again.
That's tradition.
Mate, mate, that's the biggest piece of bullshit I've ever heard. No kickoff. Stick it up your ass, mate. We're not going to do a tap. Come on. No, I'm not taking it. I'm not copping it. And if it happens, I won't be happy.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I think, like, again, we keep taking away the things from the game. Yes, injuries sometimes occur from it. Yes, injuries sometimes occur from shoulder charges and other things that have been taken out of the game. They're the reasons people watch.
The collision.
But that's the highlights reel. They love the collisions. They love the danger that exists within rugby league. It's what attracts people. Like, primarily, it is what attracts people to the game.
You want to see the first hit up of the game, yeah.
Absolutely. It's one of the things I live for. As a commentator, I can't wait for the kickoff. Like, it gets me excited. And what are we going to tap? I'll just take a tap from the line.
It's going to become more like bloody Oztag and touch.
Well, it hasn't come from the NRL themselves anyway. It's come from Dean Ritchie. It's come from his article.
Yeah, but I mean, even the changes to the sort of short kickoff rule, Jess, are designed to encourage you to take more short kickoffs to remove that collision from the game. That's the reason why they've encouraged the short kickoffs and short dropouts, and it hasn't eventuated. Teams haven't been willing to take on that short kickoff. There plenty of teams doing the short dropouts, but that's why they're saying, well, with another player knocked out in Moses Sully in the marquee ANZAC Day game, is there going to be further changes like banning the kickoff altogether? Because
it's probably the bloody Currans who have been softy pansies, not letting all the collisions happen. That's why the game is changing so much, because you've got these whole bloody Karens crap going around.
Yeah,
they're migrating from America over to here now. And that's why our game's dying off quick.
Well,
it's probably because of that.
So that's always an interesting comment, and I hear it all the time about how the game is dying quickly and how fans are walking away in droves. The data doesn't actually support that. You know, at the moment of it, I mean, that we've got the biggest crowds we've ever had in history at this stage of the season. We've got your teams have got record memberships. We've got record TV numbers. More people are watching rugby league now than ever before. So people aren't turning the sport off. We're actually attracting new fans, but I'm old, so I want to keep the kickoff. I don't think we should be getting rid of that. I think it's a showpiece and a reason why people actually love rugby league. Big T?
Yeah, hashtag keep the kickoff. Everyone, hashtag keep the kickoff.
We're on target to reach. We're on target to reach 4.5 million people this year in gate crowds into the ground. 4.5 million. So this year was 4 million.
Yeah.
The year before was 3.7 a couple of years ago. Last year was 4 million people. We're on target this year for 4.5 million.
Crazy numbers. Anyway, next question. So that's the end of the pre-prepared questions. Now we've got a couple that have come throughout the night, and another one from Mad Lad. Liam, Are you mad, lad? We're not sure who it is. Maybe you
No,
are
me.
mad, lad, and you've infiltrated the show finally.
No, that's not me, Donny.
What kind of reception do you think Flano's going to get from the crowd at Shark Park on Sunday?
A lot of boos, I reckon, from the Sharks fans. That's what I reckon. A lot of boos and get the crap out of here from the Sharks fans. I reckon that's going to happen.
He'll eat that up. He'll love it. So I hope they do. I hope they show him on the screen every time they show him. They boo him. Because that'll just
jab.
He keeps jabbing. Keep jabbing. Keep jabbing. Keep him off balance. Knock him down. All right, Jesse. Another question we've got from Brady Stewart. I think just about everybody on the panel has already answered this question in the comments, but not on the show. Would you try and get JD to the club? Jason Demetriou. It's been sacked by South.
No. We've already had him at the club previously. I know he's had success at our club, winning the New South Wales Cup with the Illawarra Cutters. He was with Drew Hutchison back in 2016, and he was Mary's assistant as well during that time. But I wouldn't be taking him on at the club now.
I'll be the contrarian here. I would not mind Jason Demetriou coming back to the Dragons. I still think he's actually got some quality as a coach. I know he hasn't had the greatest of time at South, but I think pretty much everybody that follows after Wayne Bennett
is a failure.
Has a pretty tough time. Wayne Bennett just has this ability of leaving just at the right time, just as the club is starting to head on a downward spiral, and there's not too much you can do about it. Jason Demetriou, I think he's a quality coach. I think he's got a bit to offer, and I certainly wouldn't say no, but he might need a little bit of a break before he comes to the club. But
you look at the last few coaches that Wayne Bennett has moved as after they've left. So happened with us after he left us. Steve Price, he only lasted 2 years. Rick Stone only lasted half a season. Jason Demetriou has only lasted more. He had a good first year. It was still Wayne Bennett's side he had in 2022. Then last year he had his own team downhill. It's even gone worse this year. Wayne Bennett, always when he leaves clubs, he always recommends that these blokes are ready to coach NRL, and they don't last.
Yeah.
I wonder what the Dolphins going to be like next year.
It seems to be happening. It seems to be a trend every time he leaves a club.
It's a fair question there, mate. What are the Dolphins going to be like after he leaves at the end of this year? Is Christian Wolf coming in? Wayne Bennett once again endorsing him, saying he's the man for the job. They have, but I mean, South have got a good team too. They look a good team on paper.
Filiaki for next year too.
Oh yeah,
and Junior Tupou.
And Tupou, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
I don't rate Junior Tupou.
Good team.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't really know how Wolf will go. I haven't seen him coach a whole lot. I mean, the one game he did coach when they went up to Darwin when Wayne Bennett was sick, they put nearly 50 on Parramatta. But
because Parramatta was
hard to say.
Yeah, I think
hard to say without coaching a game.
Coaching one game is not coaching. Yeah. That's babysitting. Anyway, one last viewer question comes from Muhammad Dib, and I'll go to you with this one, Big T. So no real changes made for this week's game. The Dragons get flogged again. Will there be big changes? If not, and then we get flogged again. How many chances do you give this group of players before you start to make changes? How many chances did this group of players get before you start to make some changes?
It's been the same for the last 7-8 years. We're getting flogged. There's no one to bring in. You're gonna bring all these kids in and just let them have a free for all. Are they ready to play? The players we've got no depth. Yeah, well, our depth's in our second rowers. No. I think these players are just going to keep playing for the rest of the season, and hopefully we bring more players in next year.
Yeah. I would hope to see some changes. I think there's some good young players that are in and around the side, and I'd like to see the Kaufman boys and even Dylan Egan get his debut, and guys like this actually get a chance to get blooded at least.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
As Jesse,
I don't know.
Jesse always says, you've got to play first grade.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's indefinite. I think if we get towed up again by the Sharks, as many in the comments seem to expect us to, and Hasman sort of put his predicted score in, he's not expecting us to go any good. If we get flogged again, then there might be some unforced changes perhaps, but maybe not. Maybe gives them another chance against South. If we then lose to South, then I'd certainly be expecting some changes. But at the moment, it's one loss. Like, we just came off back-to-back wins. Yes, we got flogged. I understand we got absolutely hammered by the Roosters, and when you get hammered like that, everyone wants to see big changes. But for me, I wasn't expecting any changes to this team. I got pretty much what I was expecting to happen.
Someone said not many teams would have beaten the Roosters with the form they displayed last on Anzac Day. Not many teams would have stopped them.
And again, that's probably been the conundrum that is the Sydney Roosters over the last couple of years. On paper, they look like they should do that every week, but they don't. And when they do turn up and play like that, you think, well, the Roosters, nobody's going to beat the Roosters if they play like that. But they don't play like that every week. They'll turn up this week and they'll have a shocker. They'll have an absolute stinker. And you go, why didn't that team? Why wasn't that the team we played on Anzac Day? Yeah, they're the Broncos Friday night. Yeah, be a big game. Well, let's go in and have a bit of a chat about. We don't have this, but I'll play the intro anyway. Muzzer hasn't sent me through anything, but.
All I want, all I need, all I crave is a big multi. All I want, all I need, all I crave is a big multi. London multi.
Well, let's kick it off with the first game of the weekend on Thursday night, South against the Panthers. I'll start with you, Liam. So quite often when a team stacks their coach, the following week they come out and win. Do you see South coming out and causing an upset against the Panthers?
No, I'm going to go Panthers 30 plus.
30 plus?
30 plus.
Oh.
With
there we go.
Dylan Edwards as the anytime try scorer.
Right. Panthers 30 plus.
Yes.
I'm writing these down. We're gonna we don't have Muzzer's multi, but we might create our own multi out of these at some stage. All right, let's go to the early game on Friday. Actually, go to Jesse for this one. Manly against the Raiders. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, DCE was successful in getting his charge downgraded to a grade 1, I think it was. So he'll be free to take his place in this game. The Raiders were absolutely just very disappointing against the Sharks. Never fired a shot at all. Up on the Northern Beaches at home on Friday night, I expect nothing but a big Manly win. I think Manly. I'm going to go with Liam here. I think Manly 30 plus.
Oh, another big win. All right. Well, we'll see what we can come up with in terms of a multi with some of these massive wins. Big T, the the big game Friday night. We saw what the Roosters did to us. The Broncos seem to be starting to come into a bit of form as well. Brisbane against the Roosters, Suncorp Stadium, Friday night, free-to-air TV, massive clash. How do you see this one playing out?
Well, they've both got massive players coming back for their games. You got Ezra Mann coming back, Selwyn Cobbo, coming back for the Broncos, and you also got Tupanua, Victor Radley, and Tupou coming back for the Roosters. So yeah, it's going to be a huge game. It's going to be a close one. I think the Broncos might get it up there at up in Brisbane. So yeah, I think the Broncos by a couple of points.
Did you read anything into the fact that the Roosters have named some of these guys that you just mentioned? Victor Radley, Sitili Tupanua, actually named on the extended bench, not in their starting 17. Are they certainties to come into the 17? Are the Roosters playing silly buggers trying to play a bit of ducks and drakes, or are they generally unlikely to play?
Yeah, that's right. Who do you drop after that massive win last week? Can you drop? Can you bring Victor Radley, the British international, into your side? Tupanua as well. He's a rangy back rower. I'd like to see him in the Red V, but yeah, a huge headache for Drew Robinson to have. Not Drew Robinson, Trent Robinson to have. So we talked about Drew Hutchison before, and Trent Robinson. So a huge dilemma for him. Does he bring Radley back? And I don't know who you drop. Maybe White.
Wong. Well, Wong hasn't played a lot of first grade this year.
Yeah, sure. Wong hasn't played a lot of first grade. I'm going to predict.
Well, Wong actually started the season preferred ahead of Angus Crichton.
Yeah, Crichton's now being talked about an Origin recall. That's the form he's in.
Really?
Well, Big T, you said the Broncos by a couple, but you think it could go either way. I mean, what are you looking to chuck in the multi for? Maybe the unders. Not a lot of points scored in this game, or are you going to stick with Broncos 1-12, or do you have a try scorer?
Yeah, Broncos 1-12, and Ezra Mann will score a try. So maybe go into that. Broncos win 1-12. Ezra Mann scoring. So he's a great player. I love Ezra Mann.
Right. Well, let's go into Super Saturday. Kick it off. The first game on Super Saturday, the Bulldogs against the Tigers. Liam, what are your thoughts on this one?
Just excuse me looking down on my phone for the teams list. This is a tough one to predict, Donnie. I'm gonna go. I might go Bulldogs 10-12 points. I think it's gonna be a very close game for this one. It's a hard game to predict, but I'm gonna go Bulldogs 10-12 with Josh Adaka anytime try scorer.
All right, we'll go Josh Adaka anytime try scorer. Not gonna bet on the result. Just anytime try scorer for Josh Adaka. Obviously, a bit torn there in terms of how that one's going to play out. I personally think the Dogs get the job done in that one. I think they're going a bit better than the Tigers, and they seem to be improving all the time. So that's the way I'd go. But the next game on Saturday, Jess, is the Titans against the Storm. What are your thoughts on that one?
The Storm are in red hot form at the moment, and I think they'll be winning this very comfortably. An interesting selection having Tyron Wishart on the wing. made famous, of course, by his old man, Rod. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles the wing. With Xavier Coates out with a hammy, that's a big loss. He's been a freak try scorer this year. But the way the Storm are playing, arguably the best spine in the league with Pappenhausen, Munster, Hughes and Grant in peak form, and the Storm players just doing their job as they would normally do. Storm by plenty. And I'm going to throw in a anytime try scorer. I'll throw in Will Warbrick.
I was going to
there'll be a
say,
cornucopia
sorry
of
to
points in this
interrupt.
one.
Yep.
I was
Well,
going
did you? Oh, you go, Liam.
I was going to say, I'm just looking at the Melbourne's reserve list. They've got that young kid, Safali
Suafalonga.
That was exactly what I was about to say too.
I reckon he could be a late shoo-in to replace Wishart on the wing.
Yeah,
with Bronson Garlic dropping out.
Before you jumped in, mate, that was exactly what I was going to point out. So I'm a bit surprised that Suafalonga hasn't got his opportunity in the NRL yet. He was such a revelation towards the back end of last year. He's re-signed on a pretty.
He's just
I thought I've still seen him play a few New South Wales Cup games, and it's just been interesting that he hasn't really been given his opportunity yet. So seeing him on that extended bench with Wishart on the wing, I'm with Lamb. Wouldn't be too surprised to see him come in.
Yeah, and also the other one, Donny, is Grant. Yeah, the other player, Grant. Yeah, the Anderson. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets selected as well, because they got
Dean
two.
Aramea is also there too. He's a
winner.
He is a winner. Yeah,
they got 3 winners in the reserve, so either one of those 3 could get selected with Richard referring back to the bench and maybe Bronson Garlic dropping out.
The Garlic's a 9, yeah.
And same with
Big T, Cowboys versus Dolphins. A former player of ours in Jack Piechewski's found a new home. He's gone from the Cowboys and so
the Broncos.
I guess how do you see this one going?
I think the Dolphins might be too strong, even though it's up in Cowboy territory. They bring Lukey back into the side, but the Dolphins get back Felice Kafusi, Connolly Lemuelu, Jared Wallace and Sean O'Sullivan on the extended bench. Will we see either of those two in the side? I don't know, but I think the Dolphins in this one. I think it'll be in a canter. I think the Dolphins might put their foot down and tell the NRL they're here. They're here to stay.
Cowboys hard to get rid of.
They are. But they do have that young...
They're worse. They're worse.
They actually gave Penrith a fight the other night.
Yeah.
I was going to say they picked up a really good young player in Harrison from the Bulldogs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think again up in Townsville, I think it makes it fairly interesting. But the Dolphins probably need to respond a little bit. I thought they were a little disappointing last week, to be honest.
It was a game they should have won.
I thought they should have won that game, and I think they'll be wanting to get some sort of response from them. They'd love to get the hammer back, I'm sure. Trey Fuller's has done a serviceable job back there, but Felice Kafusi, I think, is a big in for them. I know you talked about Nanai coming back for the Cowboys, but I think Felice Kafusi, his experience and what he brings to that Dolphins team, I think will straighten them up, and I think they probably will get the job done.
Yeah, it's a like for like. They lost Kenny Bromwich and Felice Kafusi straight in, so they don't lose anything there.
Yeah.
And I was going to say
Parramatta will be very relieved. Parramatta will be very relieved they have a bye. Clint Gutherson's gone down now, so they're just running
out for a long term though.
4 to 6
Long
weeks.
term,
Yeah,
so
no,
he's
yeah.
gone for a little while.
He needs knee surgery, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's it.
And
That
then
is
when
like
they-
there.
I really out of
just
Origin
gotta take-
contention too.
Was he in Origin contention? Really?
No.
I wouldn't have thought so.
No.
I was going to say, Donny, the young player for the Dolphins, Max Platt, I think he's got that number 13 jersey
Oh,
back
yeah.
down for the future. I don't see Tom Gilbert getting the jersey back from him when he
Oh,
comes
mate,
back
I-
from injury next year.
Isaiah Qatar, he's a good young halfback.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere though. I think
No.
he's locked into the Dolphins for a while.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's signed long term till
But the way Bennett's got
28,
faith in him,
I
he's
think.
doing the job, and he's not afraid to call out those players. Good young halfback. He tells them where to
is.
go. That's very impressive for a 20-year-old halfback.
But you know what? There'll be times where he'll have shockers. He'll have shocking periods. He might have a bad month at some stage in the near future, and a good coach like Bennett will stick with him and know how to nurture him through that and help him through those tough times and get him there. But will the new guy in Christian Wolf, will he be able to do it with the same level of expertise? I think young halves, it's not an easy game to keep them on the straight and narrow and continuing to perform in that way. I think he's an incredible young halfback, but I
Under
think
a
there's
rookie coach, I get what you're saying, yeah. Under a
yeah,
rookie
so
coach.
it'll be interesting to see how he goes over the next couple of years. Liam's just dropped off for a second, but I'll go to you with the Sunday game, Jess. The night against the Warriors, 13th against 12th. These are two teams that both made the top 8 last year. Most people kind of thought they'd be top 8 this year. This is a must-win game for both these teams. Who comes out on top?
Oh, I really don't know. The Knights, the game that I wouldn't expect, and the Warriors, I'd be worried if I was the Warriors. They've got the wobbles at the moment. They've lost the last 2 games they've been expected to win. I'd like to tip them, but I'm not confident because the Knights, they look good. This new fullback they've got, this Dave Armstrong, he looked good in his NRL debut. The Warriors do welcome back Kurt Capewell, Bunty Afoa, but I think they've gone a bit reliant on Sean Johnson. They need blokes like Tamare Martin to step up a little bit because Sean Johnson's getting towards the back end of his career, and they can't expect him to pull miracles all the time. So I think they need blokes like that to step up. Tamare Martin, Doug Cookstad at the back. I think they need RTS to get his hands on the ball a bit more. The Knights, while they did play well against the Dolphins, I think the Warriors, they've still got the ingredients to be a good side. And now looking at it, I think I'm going to go with the Warriors in a tight one. I know it's at Newcastle, but I think the Warriors can get it done. Capewell's a big in for them. And Bunty Afoa, Big T said he was missed against us a couple of weeks ago. He's go forward in the middle. The Knights have Jacob Saifidi in doubt with a leg injury, so that's a big loss. I think he will be ruled out. I'll go the Knights in a tight one. Sorry, the Warriors. The Warriors.
The Warriors? So what? Warriors 1 to 12?
The Warriors.
Warriors 1 to 12. I'll even throw in a DWZ to get a try at some stage.
Yeah, I can do the last game if you want.
Well, the last game.
I agree with James.
We're all doing that game.
The last game? What last game? I don't know what game you're talking about. We're closing the show off now. See you later. Have a good night. There is no last game. You want to tell us who's going to win the bye, Liam?
And Parramatta.
You mean the Dragons beat Sharks, Donny?
I think Parramatta can beat
All right. Well, Parramatta might get beat.
I'm going to go the bye by 1 point.
The way that their luck's going, that's every chance. All right, let's get into prediction time, and well, as you've so kindly volunteered, Liam, I'll let you go first in this one. So with this one, we want who wins, why, What's the margin? First try scorer, anytime try scorer, and even an anytime try scorer for the Sharks as well. I mean, what do you got for us, mate?
Oh, I'm going to go. I hate to say it, even though we're all Dragon spoilers. I'm going to go Sharks maybe 12 to 20 points in the rain, since it's going to be raining all weekend. Anytime try scorer, I'm going to go Sion Katoa. And the biggest letdown of the game, I'm going to go with Blake Lowry.
Everyone's a Laurie critic. Jesse.
Yeah, I'm more of the same. I think the Sharks will be way too strong. There's a reason why they're on top of the table. Nico Hines is in electric form. He's going to put his case forward for an Origin recall. I'm going to have the Sharks by 24. I think they'll just be way too strong at home. Ronaldo Mulatalo to get a double. I think for us, I'm going to go Kyle Flanagan going to try against his old club, but I think the Sharks will be way too strong. Sharks by 24.
All right. Oh, jeez, he's shaking his head. He's not happy. He's not happy.
No. I'll tell you how I work it out. Dragons beat the Tigers. Tigers beat the Sharks. We'll beat the Sharks by 4. Jaden Stewart will score the first try. Harme Saleh score any time.
How will we beat the Sharks?
I'm just telling you, we beat the Tigers.
He just said he worked it out. The Tigers flogged the Sharks. We beat the Tigers. Therefore, we're already better than the Sharks. You are math, Jesse. You are math.
Quick math. 21.
All right.
10 plus 9, 21.
Let's wrap the show up. And I'm a bit disappointed with the rest of the panel as well. Hasman, Jesse, Liam, all tipping the Sharks to win the local derby. What is wrong with you? I'm disappointed, but I'm also happy. Because every time Dragons fans start to write off the Dragons in 2024, every time that has happened so far this year, Dragons fans just bawling their eyes out, throwing stuff at bloody social media. Everybody's got to be dropped. You've got to go. You've got to go. Everybody's got to go. Let's sack the lot of them. Every time that happens, the Dragons come out and make them all look like idiots. The Dragons come out and they perform. And I think they're going to do that again against the Sharks in the local derby. Shane Flanagan has had this one circled in the calendar. He's got a plan for the Sharks. He already knows how to beat them. Our boys just have to go out there and execute. So I think we're going to beat the Sharks by 8. I think Jack Bird will score in his 150th. For the Sharks, I'm not sure how many people will score a try, but I might go for a bit of value and say Daniel Atkinson scores at some point, just because I've never heard of him, don't know who he is, and would be good to see him get a try. I don't care. He played for the Sharks, and the Dragons are going to win. We're going to win easily. So let's wrap it up and say, come on, Dragons fans. Fire up.
Fire up.
Fire up.
Coco is at Panel's heart, she wears it on her sleeve. As Mustard tells tales of dragons, wins and Tudor victory. Tony and the NB crew will do their very best. Hitting up topic and I digress with a red V on our chest. The Mad Dragon podcast is a sheep of camaraderie, navigating rants down rabbit holes in the land of big wet feet. And so our panelists weave the tales, and our pursuit is our dream. The Mad Dragon podcast, funded by our team.